In our last episode, we endured a lot of rain in a rolly anchorage. After some patience, we got to get out and explore a little in the tender. And after the weather calmed down, we continued our journey northward.
Join us and our crew on our adventures as we explore the amazing world around us. Welcome to our boat and home, Sea Venture. We hope your time with us is both entertaining and inspiring.
We're meandering up the entrance of Red Bluff Bay, and we're actually starting to see a little more scenery, and the lift fog is lifting just a little bit. You can see those peaks. Everything looks so mystical or magical.
Like we have in many anchorages, this one included some grizzly bears on the beach.
Anchored in our little nook in Red Bluff Cove with a beautiful waterfall in the background. We're trying to find the river part of this delta, I guess. I know we'll find it at low tide tomorrow, but we want to be able to go up it a little bit, so we'll see how we do. This is called the Bear Meadow at the head of the bay. And if you look back, Sea Venture's anchored over there with one other boat, a big one.
Very big one.
A very big one. And that's it. It's pretty quiet here. Yep, no comparison. That's a lot of water. Oh, it's its own microclimate. Peekaboo. Hey Blake. Hey buddy. Oh yeah. Hi buddy. Yeah. You can play this game too. Hey. Oh, that was a big yawn. It's a -1.5 tide today. And now with the big boat gone, here's what is called Bear Meadows and the river at low tide. We're off. We're heading out of Red Bluff Bay and the beautiful anchorage out in the back that we had for ourselves for a few hours. And Barkley, Barkley is hanging out here on the one chair. Blake is hanging out here on the couch.
All right, leaving Red Bluff Bay, where we never saw the Red Bluff. It's out here by the entrance. It was a little sunny as we were leaving, and so we thought this was the opportunity. The weather looks good to continue moving north a couple more hours. And here we work our 3 miles out toward the entrance, and this is what we get. All right, still leaving Red Bluff Bay. We missed it on camera, but no big deal. We had that mega yacht in there that everybody saw, and as we're leaving here, we were called by another mega yacht that is 10 minutes out, inbound coming in. So it looks like it's going to be mega yachts and us today. But we're going to avoid him, and I have a suspicion, given the fog, we're not going to see him. But we talk to each other on the radio, the captain and I, and we're all good. He sees us on AIS, we see him on AIS, and we're not going to go around the corner here and go, surprise. Here's the 161-foot Michaela Rose, a pleasure yacht that I think we are not going to see, but pass close by.
There's Michaela Rose coming out of the fog. Here's the chart for our next anchorage. We're going into Baranof Warm Springs, and here is the entrance off of the strait right outside. So we're going to head our way in here pretty quick. We're working our way into Warm Springs Bay.
As we approach the dock at Warm Springs, let's talk about docking situations you may encounter, and specifically Warm Springs. The large waterfalls cause a lot of current at the dock here, up to 4 knots of current pushing you down the dock toward the mouth of the bay, plus some current pushing you toward the dock. Here at Warm Springs, you can avoid this current. There's a large reef in front of the waterfall, and at low tide it diverts the current away from the dock. But alas, we arrived at high tide during the full force of the current. My approach is to overwhelm the current and make sure we stayed in control of the boat at all times with speed. Sometimes slow is not always the best strategy. This video of Sea Venture docking is not speeded up. It's at actual speed of us docking. I approached and swung into position at the dock at about 4 knots. So here's something real quick I want you to do. If you had your docking situation in lots of wind or current, put your story in the comments below, or if you have answers of how to do it better than the way we did it, let me know too, and everyone else, and then we can all learn this together.
Here's the bay and the dock. And then up here is kind of the ramp up and the community of Warm Springs.
We went for a short walk through the homes that make up the community here and along the trail up the hill to the natural hot springs, which are on the river just above the waterfall. While we were there, the community had lots of warning signs up. Apparently a local grizzly bear had become quite fond of the trails and boardwalks. If you are a subscriber to our channel, thank you. If not, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you'll know when we have a new video. We're working on adding some new content for subscribers, the first of which I'll tell you about later in this video.
Here's Warm Springs community and the waterfall at a lower tide. What we would have preferred coming in instead of the full-on current at high tide, which is what we got to experience. Hanging out at Warm Springs. Barkley's trying to decide where he can lay down. Blake's already got it figured out. Jim's hanging out. Waterfall in the background.
Rosie's editing video.
Little video editing. Actually, I'm taking a break from video editing, so I'm creating content. There you go.
We were going to go on a hike, but it's kind of wet and dreary and cold and breezy out. So we're thinking stay home day with the heat running.
And the generator's on right now, and I'm standing in front of the heater vent. Yes, the heater vent. Because why not? I can.
Yeah.
Right, Barkley?
It's been pretty cool here.
Warm Springs.
Warm Springs. Because really for the first time in more than a month, we have interacted with some other boaters, a couple. And one of the guys here is an airline pilot up here in his sailboat with his fishing buddies, and experienced halibut fishermen. So he gave me a lot of great ideas about where to go halibut fishing. And so I think we want to work on that some in the next couple weeks when we leave here. And Barkley wants attention.
Right now, don't you, kiddo? In boats, there's always something going on. Jim just cleaned the bathroom vent fan hanging there, and he's reinstalling the mount and putting it all back together again. So hopefully it will work a little bit better now that it's clean.
Yep, all cleaned up. It was kind of full of crud and stuff.
So
Doesn't sound great, so we might. Maybe the one thing we don't have a spare motor on. We might have one. I don't know. I don't think so.
no.
Maybe it's another spare part to order. Maybe not. We'll see.
It doesn't sound great, but I have a feeling it'll work much better than it did when it was clogged up with years of guck. So nice to get that done.
The rain finally let up a little, and Rosie hiked on above the hot springs and onto the lake that feeds the river. The small boats at the lake are owned by people with homes in the community, and were all carried up the trail to the lake.
Here we're on the dock with a sailboat rafted to us. They came in earlier this afternoon, and we're looking for a place. Boy, there's a lot of weather coming in from the strait.
Let's pause the show for a moment and let me show you about a new feature we've recently added that we hope you'll enjoy. Have you ever wondered where's Sea Venture right now? What are Jim and Rosie up to? Maybe what the weather's like at Sea Venture? That information is now going to be available to you anytime you like. Let me show you on my computer how to access it. It's really pretty easy. Either before, during, or after you watch a YouTube video, you can go down to the description. Often you have to click on Show More, and it expands that description. Here you'll see in almost all the videos now a link that says where is Sea Venture right now. Simply click on that link and it's going to take you to our Predict Wind tracking page. The red dot you see in the middle of the screen, well, that is Sea Venture. And we can zoom in on that spot, and we'll scoot it over and zoom in a little more, and you can see right where Sea Venture is. Right now at the north end of Wrangell Island in the Heritage Marina in Wrangell. You can hover the mouse anywhere over the screen and see in real time the wind conditions where your mouse is located. In the upper right corner, you can see our current speed and direction, latitude and longitude. It shows 0 knots because we're in the marina and not moving. Below that, you can see recent comments that I've uploaded, and I'll continue to try to upload on a pretty regular basis. You can expand them if they're more than one sentence. This one talks about the fact that it was snowing yesterday here in Wrangell. If we have sufficient bandwidth, I'll upload a photo. This is one of downtown Wrangell I took just a couple of days ago as we were cruising back toward the marina. This is all possible because we have a satellite connection on board that we're going to leave on and up and communicating 24/7. So it will update our current position, weather conditions at the boat, and any comments we've added every 10 minutes. Hope you enjoy this feature, and find it interesting to see what we're up to in real time. Now, back to the show.
And a good bit of wind as well in the bay here. And then here's the falls. I imagine they're much fuller than they were earlier with all the rain we've had in the last day. So enjoy the view.
We're at Warm Springs, and this is the view out of one of the bathhouses. This is our hot tub soaking bath here. They have the 3 little private guys with a curtain if you want, and a little changing area. So they have the natural springs that we filmed the other day, and this is the water from the same natural springs. And our experience is that the straight water from the natural springs is too hot for me at least, but they have cold water piped into here as well, so that works. So we're going to enjoy a soak. So the procedure here when you're all done is you empty the tub by pulling the plug, and then you rinse out the tub and you scrub it with the brush provided, and then when you're all done you replug it and turn the hot water back on so it's full and ready for the next person. We're leaving Baranof Hot Springs this morning. It's about 10 o'clock. So it looked like it might be a little foggy out here, but it's not, and it looks pretty calm, but we'll see. We're just going to go about 5 miles north. Had a great visit here to the I suppose it's Baranof Warm Springs, even though they're really hot, it seems. But had a great time here, and really for the first time in a month connected with some other cruising boats. There's been so few boats up here, just very few cruising boats. We've not yet, in the month we've been up here, come across any other boat from Washington. Only boats that stay up here year-round for the most part. And maybe the boat we came up with, Alpenglow, but and then mega yachts. And the locals are all telling us there's actually a lot less mega yachts up here than a normal year. So just a lot less going on. But it looks like we're gonna have a nice cruise this morning, only about an hour north to a little bay where we may spend a couple nights, I think. So some nice short hops coming up. Join us next week as we continue our journey north, and stay tuned for this weekly's Q&A. All right, time for another weekly Q&A. We're going to make this one pretty quick because the video is already long enough, and so we got to keep things moving along. Can't take up your whole day. First question from Timothy. Does the infrared help you see logs and other objects in the water? Or does it just see heat generated images? And the answer to both questions is yes. We have a FLIR, stands for forward looking infrared camera. Here's what it looks like on the front of the boat. It does work under certain circumstances, so it's pretty qualifying in that regard. Here's a short clip from when we used it returning from Haida Gwaii.
If I zoom in, there's a seagull on the screen. So, at any rate, it helps us to see what's in front of us.
Here's another clip from one of our videos where I show you what it looks like in the pitch black at night, what we can see moving forward. It comes out looking pretty good. The limitations to the FLIR camera is that it does distinguish temperature differences, and logs and crab pot buoys and that stuff are different temperatures than the surface. Where the limitations are is that if it's pouring down rain, everything's the same temperature. If it's foggy, everything's the same temperature. If it's really rough seas out, you end up with two issues. One, white caps are a different temperature and they make everything look like a target. And the camera has trouble focusing if the boat is pitching, going up and down a lot. And so those can be real limitations to the FLIR. But under calm conditions, and if you can anticipate those conditions when you want to travel at night, it works extremely well. Next question from Dan. The little diamond plate heart on the side brackets of our new swim step was a nice touch. Is there one on the port side as well? Great eye, Dan. Here's the diamond heart he's talking about. And it is only on the starboard side. It was a gift from the Port Townsend Shipwrights Co-op. They have put 5 of them on boats. I think 5 as far as I know. And we were the first boat that it was a non-commercial boat to get one of their hearts. It's just a thing of appreciation they do for some customers who have had a lot of work done there, like we have with Sea Venture. And you know, it feels good. We really like it. I love seeing it every time we approach in the tender. And you know, we know they're comfortable with us because they snuck up with their welder and put that on without ever asking us or letting us know. It just appeared on the side of our boat one day, welded to the swim step. But we love it. Thomas asked, how heavy is Sea Venture? Sea Venture is about 45 tons fully loaded, or 90,000 pounds. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and if you have questions, answers, or comments, put them in the comments in YouTube below. So that's going to do it for the Q&A. Thanks so much. Wishing you no wind and flat seas. 3, 2, 1, bye.